Here's Rodders!
Alright guys, welcome to Here's Rodders Reviews. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart. We're getting into some more He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is a search for the VHO. On the box here it says, on Seki Island, the animals are attacking the home of royal historian Hovar and his son Justin. To save them, Teela and He-Man must deliver a valuable high-frequency oscillator, the VHO, to the island to drive away the animals. But He-Man has other... Merman, it's weird. This cover is blue and the writing kind of blends into the background, plus my eyesight is rubbish. Merman has other plans, and the device and the heroes are conveying... What? The England isn't too good in this box. Merman has other plans for the device, and the heroes are conveying may actually bring about their downfall. I don't know, it doesn't sound right. Anyway, great little episode. Basically, this high frequency VHO high frequency oscillator. Yes, this thing here is essentially, it's like a dog whistle. You know, a dog whistle, you blow it, you can't actually hear it, but dogs can hear it. This oscillator is beyond the frequency of humans. They can't hear it, but it drives the animals crazy. On this island, you know, this father and son historian group are basically, you know, they've got this like force field around their camp, and you know, they're checking out the ruins and whatnot. Throughout the entire episode, these animals are trying to attack it through this force field. It's weakening. They've got lasers that they're firing at the animals, so they're not actually shooting them. They're using the lasers to, you know, blast the ground in front of them to try and scare them away. And at the palace, Man-at-Arms has this thing set up, ready to go, and he's sending Teela on the mission to take it to these guys to save them. And Prince Adam goes with her on this boat. But on the way there, Merman has got wind of what's happening, and he's ready to attack and steal this thing and use it as a weapon to control all the animals in Eternia, along with perhaps Beastman as well, and maybe even it'll work on Skeletor. That's the thing about the classic He-Man series. It's like you had the good guys, you had your villains, but the villains were, you know, nobody could trust anybody. You know, Skeletor had the upper hand on everybody, but at one point or another, any of the villains would turn on each other at a moment's notice. And Merman is probably one of the just going by memory here. You know, Evelyn would have took her chances as well. Beastman as well, but Merman seemed to have that real independent streak compared to the rest of them, and you know, he kind of stood on his own 2 feet a lot of the times. So he's intent on getting hold of this and going against everybody at some point. But he uses a kraken to attack this boat, and he actually sinks it at one point, and it takes Teela prisoner. And that's cutting a long story short. It really is. There's a lot of action sequences in this episode, with the Kraken attacking the boat, the sailors trying to escape. Prince Adam, of course, is on the boat with Teela, so they get separated, allowing him the opportunity to transform into He-Man and come to the rescue. And yes, it's the big thing for the current series. Masters of the Universe Revelation plays a big part on it, that Teela didn't know the secret of Prince Adam being He-Man, and you get to see it firsthand in this episode. You know, they get separated, he changes, comes to the rescue. There's a lot of swimming, a lot of underwater stuff, fighting the Kraken, fighting Merman. The confrontation between Merman and He-Man doesn't last that long in the episode, but Merman does indeed get a second chance to use the Kraken against He-Man as well. There's an underwater layer where the Kraken is fighting He-Man. There's a sequence in this as they're fighting, and literally on the Kraken. He-Man is literally the size of its hand, and at one point it punches him into a wall, and his whole body goes limp and he falls to the ground. And it's just like, it's brutal. There's a lot of memes of this show. It's probably one of the first memes that I can remember coming out on the internet, where they really camped up the show to a high extent. But whenever you get back and actually watch it again, there's a lot of stuff in this show that was just brutal in its time, and so good. That one little thing in this episode alone, where he is punched into this wall, goes limp, falls to the ground. It's just like, this is an 80s cartoon. And I said it in the previous review of Transformers. It's like, back in the day, in the 80s, there was no holds barred at times, the stuff they would do in shows. And it just brings to memory another show, Brave Star, which had one incredibly dark episode. So we may get into that at some point, but that's nothing to do with He-Man. But yes, by the end of this fight with the Kraken, He-Man and Teela managed to get hold of this VHO. I wanted to make sure I got those letters in the proper order. They managed to get hold of that there, and using it, they get the upper hand on the Kraken, and it retreats along with Merman riding on its back. And they could have just left it at that, but He-Man being He-Man, strongest man in the universe, he's going to go one step further, and he swims, tracks him down, lifts him, and throws him into goodness knows where they landed at. And Teela, during this sequence, drops it in the ocean again, and He-Man's like, it's okay, I'll go down and get it. So he dives below the waves, and that's the last we see of He-Man in this series. And Teela's starting to panic. Episode. This is the last time the episode we see He-Man, and Teela's kind of panicking because he's below the surface for a while. You can come back up now, where are you at, sort of thing. And then she hears Prince Adam calling, so He-Man used that as an opportunity to go away, change back into Prince Adam, and he comes floating along in a little dinghy, pretending to be when the boat sank, he managed to get to safety. And Teela buys it, of course, as usual, and they get to the island and manage to save this father and son team from the animals just in the nick of time. Their force field has ran out, their lasers, they're out of power, and yes, they're rescued. And they set up this device that it's going to be running constantly, so they don't have to worry anymore about force fields or lasers. They can just go about their business and find out, they're historians, there's ruins there, they're on the island to work out who these people were, what happened to them. They can go about their business now, never have to worry about animals ever again. And we kind of close out the episode right there. And of course, at the end of the episode, we get a little PSA, more or less, and a character breaks the fourth wall, talks to the viewer, and gives them a little piece of information that you might have missed in the episode. It kind of covers more the historians, the father and son group, and it's Man-at-Arms, and he's like, it's throughout history there's been these people that have been brave enough to step out there and learn new things for the good of humanity. And it's like picking up the unsung hero sort of a deal at the end of the episode. This one was pretty good. It was very entertaining, this episode. Probably not one of the best in the run of the series, but nice to see Merman getting the villain limelight for once in the series. I think now, I've been spending quite a bit of time on this series, and I've been reviewing it, I've been going away from it, I've been coming back to it, but this is the first one in the run where I think Merman was the actual main villain of the episode. Could be wrong in that, but Merman's always good for a bit of entertainment in these episodes. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please get subscribed, turn on that bell notification. And I've just realised how pointless it is for me to say all this stuff because there's a little end card that's going to say it again anyway. So I'll talk to you in the next episode. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, don't forget to turn on that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. And please check out some of the other videos on this channel while you're here.